Hello, hello. I'm Jason.
And I'm Will.
Welcome to the shit show. In case anybody's new here, that's our name because we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. And like that,
Fair.
right there. Already said the F bomb, and we're on YouTube within the first few seconds.
Hey,
Videos
I
already.
didn't do it this time?
I know.
That's
Videos already
awesome.
demonetized.
Nice.
Sweet. It doesn't matter. It's not like we get a billion views. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. But yeah, so that's kind of what our whole shtick is. We're just two best friends here talking about mental health, because we both have had many experiences with both. His and our experiences. Let's see. Let's turn that down. So yeah, and what we're here to talk about today is mental health around the election.
Yeah. I would say the state of the country is not great. It's not great.
This is one of those cases, though, where everything sucks around you, but it is producing some of the best memes on the planet. Like, have you seen some of the memes that, where it's like, what's everybody's fit for the revolution? It's just, dude, I mean, all kinds of, oh my god, it's just so many funny memes, dude. I mean, I know it's about, like, serious stuff, but I can't help myself. You know what I mean? I'm a sick, messed up person, and I find messed up things funny. So I can find, a silver lining, I guess you could say, in all this doom and gloom. So even though I'm doom and gloom, that I get that little bit of humor out of all this chaos and such forth.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Well, okay, so the day of the election was like bittersweet because my brother was also running in the election.
Yes.
And he won. So, like, I just had a nonstop smile on my face over that. Super proud of him. Like, this was his second time running for assembly, and he got it this time. Like, he beat her by like 700 votes.
I know when you say I saw the picture on your Instagram. I looked at the 15,100 and something, 15,700 something or whatever, and I was like, "Ooh,
You're
that's
right,
so,
dude.
that's so awesome."
It was really amazing. Honestly, it was a great experience.
His brother is a amazing, funny human being. So
Love that
yeah,
guy. He's gonna do great things for Nevada, but unfortunately,
everything else,
we also
everywhere
have an
else.
oversized Oompa Loompa as our president again for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Um. See, my question is,
I have no idea what's gonna happen, and that's like honestly, I don't really have an expectation for Trump. I just don't because obviously I didn't vote for him, but I just don't know what to expect. I have no idea because I felt like a lot of his speeches were very in line with authoritarianism. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I've been learning about like Benito Mussolini, like speech style and the way they're targeting their campaigns. Adolf Hitler also did the same exact thing to get elected in Germany.
yeah. He used everybody's hatred against the Communist Party, and he
Mm-hmm.
was like anti-communism, anti-communism, pro-Germany, pro-Germany. I'm gonna help the
Jews are
German.
vermin.
Yeah, no, he did not say anything about that
Yeah,
until
he did.
after he was elected.
Yeah, no. He said Jews were vermin before he got elected. He was
I
still an
could
officer.
I could have swore that that he never said
No.
anything in office
So
until he fucking got presidency, chancellor, whatever.
no. So essentially, what happened was this: he tried to be a painter. That ended up failing.
I know.
Right.
Art school denied him.
And he got a job with the army. Right.
Hmm.
And they made him an undercover officer. He wanted him to go investigate, like be undercover, take notes, and observe a group of radicals. And what's funny is he ended up liking the radicals, so he ended up like going up one night to talk, and people were just like hypnotized by him instantly because he was immediately saying shit like Jews are vermin, we lost the war because Germany was weak. We, he was saying that shit right out the gate. That's what got him into politics.
See, I saw
Actually,
a lot of it was
because
the
that party
communism
ended up growing and growing and growing, and eventually they were called the Nazi Party.
Well, yeah, but to get the people that were outside of it, that was his whole shtick, was anti-communism. And then once they were brought in, then they were indoctrinated towards the farther right-leaning, where it's like, by the way, Jews are, whatever. But a lot of the people, that's how it started first, is that because they have this huge thing with Russia, because they're right next to them, it's always a standoff kind of thing. The fucking communist fear was rampant. So that was like his main pillar of like running for political parties is anti-communism. And then once
He
people got
talked
brought
about
in,
anti-communism too. It's just he had always pledged that Jews were vermin,
well, yeah,
like
See,
100%.
I mean, I knew he had always believed it, but I see it. Everything I'd always seen.
No, he even preached it. That's what I'm saying. Like he somehow got in because he only needed 20% of the vote because of the way the German democracy is set up.
That's so crazy.
They don't just have a two-party system; they have like several parties.
Yeah. I still can't imagine that though. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. So he won because he got 20%. 20% of the vote. That's all he needed to win. Isn't that insane?
It is.
And then he ended up he ended up like making it a dictatorship. Slowly but surely tore down all the other parties so that he had no rivals left.
Yeah.
Right. And then he committed a crime that was against like the German Constitution. So he was like in jail, but like Pablo Escobar style. He was still free to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Like, he wasn't really in jail. And then he got out, and then immediately like put through a bill that caused the whole Holocaust.
Yeah.
So, that's just to like briefing things up.
And
But that's what happened.
It's crazy when you can do stuff like that because you have control of the military. Because pretty much when he was president, the military were all.
You just need the right people to be loyal enough to you to do it. Like, dude, Trump tried to coerce so many people in the 2020 election. That's another thing I learned about this week. I heard all the evidence that they had against him for the January 6th hearing. Because, like, officers died.
Yeah.
Riot. So.
And it's crazy because I wonder what's going to happen now because he's supposed to be.
They have to put on. He's the president, so they're putting it on hold. Like.
Well, no, because his conviction.
The prosecutor already said that he can't do anything about it right now. He's the president.
Well, last thing I saw, it was a news article 2 days ago that said that his sentencing hearing was for November 28th still. On the cases that he was already convicted for. Not the new ones, but the cases he was already convicted for. I can Google it, double check.
Pretty sure that's being put on pause or continued. But dude, he shouldn't have even technically been allowed to run legally.
I know, as a convicted felon.
But he hasn't been convicted. That's the problem. He hasn't officially been convicted in a court of law. And that is 100% why he is still able to be president. Technically. Anyway. Yeah. So, there was a lot of heartbroken people in my poli-sci class, so to speak.
It says whether that the sentencing still happens whether that sentencing happens at all remains an open question. Because he's still technically bound to it, but he has different things that he can do to like get out of it. But
I know.
One of the people that was going against him, he already said, "What if I get in office? I'm going to fire this corrupt guy."
Yep. He's just going to clean house and restaff it with loyalists.
Just like
that's scary. That's a scary thought, man. That is a scary thought.
I mean, either way, even if they're loyalists, either way, it's still going to be, hardcore Americans. No. So, It's not all
Americans
that
in
bad.
what way though? Because I felt the people that stood up to Trump when he was trying to defraud the election of 2020 by saying I won, recount in Georgia, you're 11,000 short. Okay, so I only need 11,000 votes. Can you get me 11? They have recorded phone calls of him saying this to like like voting officials in Georgia and Arizona.
Sometimes you just gotta play the game, G.
And he was like implying that bad things might happen if that doesn't change. After it was already like long since finalized.
Like I said, bad things happen, G.
Oh my god. He also threatened Pence.
Well, Mike Pence sucks.
Well, he tried to coerce him into doing things, and he said, "No, I'm not doing any of like you don't have like the executive power to do that." Like, and Trump was like, "You're a wimp."
Like what?
Dude, he said some wild like, bro, how do you talk to people like this? I just don't get it. Like, how do you talk to people so disrespectfully? Like, God, I wonder what it's like to be a billionaire. What do you mean? No.
You're still saying your party without saying your party. You know?
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead and continue then, sir? What did you have to weigh in on this?
People, us. You know what I'm saying? Because it is so divided. Oh, I should probably get closer to this. Sorry,
I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Sorry, I was starting to get comfy and shit.
Mike's pretty far.
because we are so divided. You know what I mean? Like people are getting stressed out. People are making memes about civil wars and revolutions and shit in the United States
That's
of
like,
America.
That's a
That's-
scary thought.
That's
honestly.
what
Like,
I'm saying. Like that's wild. That's scary and crazy. But that comes down to us, the people. Like obviously, you know, each side feels the way they do. Doesn't matter how you feel, but right now, that just so much stuff is swirling through people's heads and hearts. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, everybody's die hard for both sides. But I mean, Democrats probably aren't going to be doing a January 6th kind of thing. But
no.
you know, nonetheless,
Biden couldn't do that.
like people are scared. I've spoken to women that now that Trump is in office,
Yeah.
are scared for their rights, their protections, their voices.
I know. And dude, did you know more women voted for Trump than Kamala? Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Because a lot of these women believe that Trump isn't going to like make an executive ban on abortion. But the
I don't
thing
think he will.
is, but that's just it. He wouldn't need to. He would just need to. What's it called?
Well, I know his
He
policy.
would basically just have to enact a law that already exists.
Well, no, so I know his policy on it that he's
The
been
Comstock Exchange.
but what he's been saying is with abortion, when it comes to that, he's like, I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to make sure that that's up to the states, which still sucks because I mean, there's people who live in the Bible Belt. You know what I'm saying? Like those states aren't going to swing towards what people need. You know what I'm saying? Like they would rather uphold God and let a mother die in some kind of birthing incident, thinking it's God's will rather than intervene and save. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it still sucks, but I mean his thing is to leave it up to the
trust the man.
states. So like us, I forgot to check that actually, but for us, when you voted, did you see that we had a thing for adding an amendment to our Constitution to protect abortions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
voted for it. Yeah.
Me too, obviously. But like that. I mean, Nevada, we'll probably be one of the states that are like, y'all are safe here. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So there are going to be states that are safe.
I know.
Because
Doesn't necessarily make it right for what the other states do.
I agree.
But-
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, what I think it should do is cause a mass exodus, And you know what I'm saying? Because what's the biggest way to make something happen in the world? Come on, think about it. What's the number one way to make something happen in this world?
War. What do you mean?
Money.
Money.
So if thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of people suddenly leave a state, those people aren't paying rent, groceries, taxes, utilities, nothing. They're not going out for movies. They're spending absolutely $0 in those states. And that's how they force those states to be like, all right, you want to take away our right to abortion? We're all going to move here. I mean, it sucks because that also isn't available for everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody's able financially.
To just have them move, yeah.
Yeah. But if those who are capable did so, and those who weren't made that as like a goal to do and slowly moved out as they could, over time it would force those states, you know what I'm saying, to recognize either our state, you know, we lose more and more money in our state, or we give these people what they want.
Yeah.
That's why you see California and like Oregon trying to be so liberal on so much stuff. Usually, except for like gun stuff, but like so much other stuff, is because look, I mean, it's brought so many people to them, like population wise, it's insane.
Mm-mm.
I saw this population map the other day. It was like a thermal map kind of thing, you know, where it shows like the different colors and shades. There's huge swaths of this country that there's like nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what I also learned? It's weird. There's this invisible line. I can't remember if it was like at the 90 or 100 parallel, but there's this weird invisible line that separates a majority of the population of the United States.
What?
Yeah. So I can try and find it later.
Where? Here in Nevada?
No. So if you take the United States and you take a thermal map, or you can even use lights. So if you use lights, except for a few key large cities to the west of that specific line, there's just huge swaths of darkness. And
that's
whenever
funny.
you go east of the line, it's just continuous light almost.
That's wild.
It's really interesting, and part of it has to do with weather. So, because there's a mountain range, I can't remember which one it is. Somebody else would probably know, because I think the Rockies go east and west. So that's probably not that. Maybe Appalachia. I don't know. Whatever. But there's a mountain range, and it pretty much acts as a wall. Everything that comes in from the east gets stopped there, and it's so far inland from the west that all the moisture would be lost by the time it gets there. Plus, there's also another mountain range in Washington. So that's why Washington gets so much rain, is because those mountains stop most of that moisture before it can get over. So most of it just gets dumped there before it can cross over the mountains and go further inland. That's one of the reasons why Washington and Vancouver, because the mountains continue up, they just get freaking drenched, bro. And that's why California gets water to some degree. Yeah. But see, that's the whole thing, is a lot of basically almost everybody except for Washington, every bit of population west of that line uses aquifers, which are obviously not, well, I mean, like aquifers and like the Colorado River, which I don't know I think we talked about this before, did we? The Colorado, it used to actually go through the United States, and you know where Mexico has that little peninsula? It actually used to let out into that little peninsula.
Oh, that's funny.
But now human beings dam up and take up so much of its water that it doesn't even make it to Mexico anymore.
Oh, wow.
So legitimately, we keep water. Well, it's not that we're keeping it from Mexico. We just take so much, it doesn't have a chance to get to Mexico.
Yeah. That's wild.
But yeah, you guys, if anybody watches this, you should definitely look up the whatchamacallit. Look up the heat map. It's really cool, or the line, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's very interesting how, I mean, obviously this stuff affects us, you know what I mean? But so many people put so much into it and put stake so much on it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's always like like crazy people and extremists and stuff like that. But I mean, now all you ever see is a bunch of videos of a bunch of Trump people doing a bunch of crazy stuff, or people being out with Trump signs, and then a bunch of Democrats doing a bunch of crazy stuff because they're out there with Trump signs. Like in public. Like I saw this lady the other day. I guess so. Both candidates were at the college for trying to endorse whatever. They had their little booths in the courtyard of the college, and they were out there. And the guy was standing there with his Trump sign, and this lady uh, was just screaming at the top of her lungs continuously. Take a breath. I mean, for a long, like people were coming down from the businesses around uh, like around the courtyard in the college, and inside the college, coming down like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Is everything all right? What's going on?" And she wouldn't. She's like, "No, I'm cool." Ah! Just because he's out there with his supporting Trump.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
It's like, look, I didn't vote for the guy, but I'm not gonna do anything like that to anybody.
Exactly, but that's so rampant now for both sides. I mean,
That's wild.
I live with somebody who if you just say the word Trump or she hears his voice on a video, she'd just come in there flying in to talk shit. I love her to death, but as God, you can't even mention Trump, or it's just a whole long hour screaming thing, and it's just like, why? What? Why? I mean, like, I get to care, but to not to care that much to think that you got to force it to everybody. I don't know. I hate that.
Who?
Obviously, not my fiance.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, but yeah. So
I missed the first part. I was like, wait, what? I was
Yeah.
like, who are you talking about?
so I don't know, dude. It's just crazy because so many people have, they do stake so much on it. But I do get it at the same time because even Sarah said she's scared. She's like with him being president, I'm worried about this, this, and this. And like
Yeah.
I doubt we'll ever need an abortion or anything, but that was one of the things. And that's why I was like, we made sure to try to add it to our constitution. We did what we can do, and hopefully it did get added to our constitution. I don't know. Definitely got to check that, but you gotta. We went out, we voted, we went and freaking stood in line at a middle school or like elementary school at like night in the cold in this long line, just waiting for a bit just to cast our votes. You know what I'm saying? We exercised our American right to vote. We did. We did. No, well, that's not the most you can do because I mean you can always call congressmen, senators, letters. I mean, there are all kinds of avenues. I mean, most of the time it's going to be screaming into the dark, but I know that there's plenty of times where things have reached the right places and reached the right people. So, like Adam Conover. Do you ever watch Adam Knows Everything?
Yes.
Yes. He recently, I don't remember what party it was or whatever, but he recently had a candidate that him and other people, really thought would be a good person for candidacy. And they did what they did. They went out and door knocked. They went out and did flyers. They did, I mean, cold calls. You know what I'm saying? Like they did the whole political spiel, even though he's like a famous YouTuber and makes money. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, I believe in this woman and I think she should be elected. And he exercised that right to the best of his ability and knowledge. And
Nothing
I mean,
wrong with
kudos
that.
to him. But I don't know. A lot of this, ooh, God. But to let it get to the point of driving you crazy enough that you can assault people or destroy people's property or steal people's property, that's too much.
Way too much. I can't get on board with things like that. honestly.
Everybody can have their own opinion and thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So just because somebody else doesn't think like you or believe what you do, you shouldn't accost them or just instantaneously believe they're a terrible person. Because I know good people that voted for Trump. I know good people that voted for Harris.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's not as big of a dividing factor as people make it. But now people are trying to start to do that. Like they'll be like,
It's almost like a war instantly. Like
Yeah.
automatically, it's just a war. Oh, you're a Republican? You mother.
"Yeah, sorry, we can't be friends."
Like,
Why, bro?
it's like
That's
dude,
crazy and
I-
childish.
It's like me personally, I don't care about your political beliefs. I care about your character. You know,
Yeah,
if I see a good person in you, then I'm gonna put effort and energy into that. You know,
exactly.
but but yeah, if it's not being reciprocated, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna entertain it either.
Exactly.
But bottom line, two people who can agree to disagree and still get along just fine. I have several friends that voted for Trump, and I don't love them any less for it. They have their own opinions, and they have every right to do that. That's the whole point of voting. So if you can't grasp that and understand that people just don't always agree with you on certain things, well, I don't see any reason why your lives need to merge in those ways anyway. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Because
For the most part, political beliefs don't usually line up with what you're doing day to day with people.
yeah. They'd be like,
So,
"Are you watching? Do you want to go watch a movie? Is it a Republican movie?
you see
It's a
what-
horror movie.
it's
What?
like- it's like you see,
You know what I mean?
when
Nobody
you-
does
when
that.
When you create unrealistic boundaries like that, like this, just no, dude. It's never gonna work.
Yeah, it's literally all you're doing is intentionally creating a divide between yourself and other human beings
That's it.
for no reason.
You're looking for a very specific person, just to talk to, socialize with. Keep that in mind. Like we're not even talking relationship. We're talking friend, just friends.
Yeah, just friends. And we're just talking on a base level. You know what I'm saying? If you, because obviously, if they're Republican, but they're like, but hey, but I still believe you should have the right to have an abortion. You know what I mean? If that's like the make or break argument,
Yeah.
then cool, you could still be friends. But obviously, if they're a Republican and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be able to have an abortion, then obviously that's your make or break. Then you can kick them out of your friendship group, whatever. But just to
It's like just
Stop
don't
it,
talk about that. Like, what's wrong with that? Like,
Yeah.
just don't
I mean,
talk
yeah.
about it
that
unless you
too.
can calmly agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Because some people get overly passionate and they like fight for it like it's like their blood belief. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
I know.
it's like we're just talking opinions here. Okay? There's facts that surround the opinions, but it doesn't make anyone right or wrong in that scenario, in my opinion. I believe what I believe because it's not that I don't believe in this, it's that I believe in these things needing to be fixed more.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Trump supporters that logically voted for Trump. They had specific reasons that just weren't related to the negative things attached to Trump. And I was like, honestly, I can't even be mad at that. That sounds logical to me.
Yeah, like I'll have to.
It's like I get it.
Like I personally,
Like-
his tax thing with removing tips, and if he does remove lots of other taxes and imposes tariffs, I personally, and it'll man, my hair is crazy. It'll definitely suck for a bit, but I think that's best just because since that puts the taxes on foreign goods, it's not going to be the foreign countries that pay that. It's the companies that pay that extra
I know,
amount
but
of
they're
money.
just going to drive up demand. Or they're just going to drive up costs, sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. But their options will be the cost effectiveness is out of the range of people's ability to buy, or we have to reevaluate and relocate back to the United States
Maybe.
because that's the kind of the whole goal is to try and force companies to come back to America because hey, yeah, you can still do business abroad. We're just gonna make you spend lots of money for it. You could produce it here. What happened to American steel? People, you know what I mean? Like people used to talk like American steel. Where's that talk? You know what I mean? Like nobody gloats about that now. I mean they gloat about like our military, but half that stuff's made of plastics and polymers and weird kind of stuff like that. And even the little tiny bits of metal that it does have is like good, strong. Like, oh hey, if the one piece of metal is going to be the frame, so let's make sure it's titanium. Something like that. Whatever. So I get that. Plus, at the same time, since it'll remove the taxes, even though it'll make things more expensive, you'll also be getting more money at the end of the day. So your paychecks will be higher. So even though things will be more expensive, you'll also be bringing home more money.
Yeah.
So if you're good with numbers, but see, that's the thing, like that. I mean, like, I agree with that. I still don't vote for him, but like I see how that I feel like that could actually work pretty positively.
Could.
Yeah,
the key
could.
word there.
Because if you think about,
that's why I'm saying I have no expectations. So hopefully we'll just get through these next 4 years.
Yeah, I want to
Honestly.
get our country to be like, if they could focus everything like they do NASA, because we put so much money into NASA. You know what I mean? Like NASA's, I mean, like they have projects that are billions of dollars, like $1.2 billion for this project, for one project, and you know what I mean? But and that's useful. I'm not saying that's dumb or not important. They're doing important stuff. But if we could start putting that money other places too, that could be sweet. But at the same time, most of it goes to our defense budget, which is why we are so strong. So if it's going to end up weakening our overall strength, that's not worth it for that big of a disadvantage.
You can find other ways to redirect funds, honestly. You could. We just need better financing in the country. But anywho,
I know we're not
the mental health aspect of this election.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
Is what we were mainly driving towards. Yeah, I have a lot of people that were. I know a lot of people that were just like very, very deeply hurt. A lot of people that are scared. And me, like I personally, I'm not really scared, but I'm not really like, I don't really feel any type of way about it right now. I'm just like, I mean, he was president for 4 years already. I don't feel like it's going to be too much different, but I do have some paranoias about like the authoritarianism, the comparisons. That scares me because I'm just like, and especially with him saying things publicly like, you'll never have to vote again. What the hell does that mean? It's like, that's one of the beautiful things that this country loves to do is vote on shit. Like, so I'm just a little confused.
Yeah.
On what the hell he meant by that.
Well, I also have faith to some degree in the American people because, I mean, even though January 6th was dumb and in the wrong direction, imagine if, you know what I mean, if that was put towards like a real thing, like our founding fathers wanted, you know what I mean, us to be able to rebel against a government that is no longer good for us. To know, you know what I mean, because we're supposed to have the power, not them. And you know what I mean? Like, we could literally be like our founding fathers, and I feel like that's super possible because, if things get too crazy, and the population starts revolting, do you think they're going to send in the military against their own family members? The military's going to quit too. They're not going to.
A lot of them probably would.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're still going to have some crazy loyalists, people that don't have family, but you're going to have people that in the military that already don't agree with what's going on either. And then they're going to be like, wait a minute, you're sending us into civilian territory to suppress? No. AWOL. And then guess what? Now all those people are also on the other side, also with guns. Now the entire country is one giant militia. Good luck, American government. You think we would literally flood the capital city, not building.
Yeah, this would be wild.
That's what I'm saying.
let's not talk about it. Oh my God, I'm getting headaches.
That's not. That's fine. That's not like a political party thing. I'm just saying, if no matter whoever got elected, if anything got too crazy, I do believe that American people would stand up for what's right and not get pushed over. That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
So even if he does do some craziness or whatever, at the end of the day, I feel like everyone has a breaking point. Even Trump people, even like those people that are like, I absolutely, like the Trump diehards, like that guy with the Viking helmet, like the super Trump lovers. I mean, what if it was like, uh, what if they watched him kill a kitten? You know what I mean? That'd be a line for me. I don't care if I saw anybody kill a kitten. It's on site. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
But you know what I mean? That's a dumb
No.
example. But that's an example. That's a hard line for me.
I mean, that's
So
a fair
there's
example.
there's so there's so there's gotta be
Like, what?
dude. There's lots of people that don't care about animals. So that they'll be
I
like,
don't even understand how you can't.
well, they'll be like, oh, that sucks. That's sad. But I mean, it's just an animal. Anybody who can say it's just an animal, know that if you're around me and you say that, you're getting something. Bow, knee, fist. I don't care. They're not just animals, bro. You know what I mean? But there are people that think of them as just almost objects.
Yeah, no.
So,
I can't do that.
but yeah, so you know what I mean. So there's hard lines in the sand for everyone. So even super hardcore Trump people, there has to be one somewhere at some point in time that if it gets hit, even they would rise up. You know what I mean? So no matter what, if stuff gets crazy enough, I believe,
People will stand up.
yeah. It just sucks is because sometimes that's what it takes is it has to get super crazy because
I
people
really
are
hope
so
it doesn't,
dumb.
Though is my point. I'm just trying to get through
mean-
the next 4 years, dude.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't either, but I also got 13 firearms. I'm not really worried.
Yeah, I don't. But
I got guns and thousands of rounds. Try me.
I have a baseball bat.
I got a
I
baseball
have some
bat.
fun with that. I have extremely sharp German steel blades.
We should get you a Glock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have one for a long time just because of Noah. I wanted to make sure when we did start getting guns, that we had a safe.
Yeah.
But now I don't have any children in the house, so.
Now you just got to keep the Glock in the Rari, you know? Yeah, well, we should definitely talk about that soon. I'll help you find one because dude, pawn shops are the best place. Get cheap deals on decent guns. Yeah. So back to the mental health. I think everybody should kind of just I get the worry, I get the stress. Take a step back.
Everything's gonna be okay, guys. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I believe in people. At the end of the day, I believe in people to stand up. So have faith, have a little bit of faith, I guess, and just live your life day by day. I mean, because that's when it comes down to mental health, at least for us and every other person that struggles with mental health that we know. That's literally it. That's something that your therapist and your psychiatrist will most certainly tell you is take it day by day.
That's all you can do, honestly.
Yeah.
Just work on yourself, learn to be happy with yourself, and just know what you deserve. Everything's gonna be okay.
Identify
Honestly.
issues, things that you're having struggles with. Try to figure out why or how you can fix it.
Yeah.
Because the self-reflection portion is the most helpful because when you at least feel like you're doing better on yourself, it does give you some relief in your depression, your anxieties to some degree, because it does make you feel, even if in the smallest bit, that you're moving in the right direction. Because you're working on it. Even if you're like, I might fail at this, but I'm just doing it. I'm trying to make an effort. So even if I fail, I'm in the right direction. So I'm not, you know what I mean? You're not being distracted, veering off course. You're not needing crazy catastrophic incidents and stuff to happen to realize stuff, which a lot of people who don't self-reflect, people who don't have emotional intelligence or maturity, or just intelligence in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you don't have the
right.
wherewithal to understand things, it usually takes a lot for you to understand.
Fair.
It's like the world's version of, let me dumb it down for you.
You have to be able to analyze yourself and understand why you respond to things the way you do, so this way you can understand how not to respond that way. But it takes experience and it takes putting yourself out there at times. That's it. That's all it takes. It's taken both of us a long time to bless you, to even get where we are now. Bless you. God, you're a horrible. Jesus.
Sorry.
Such a greedy ass.
Keep going.
But it takes a long time to essentially just find yourself and understand setting up a structure for yourself that you can actually follow. But you also have to remember to keep you have to leave space for yourself in between all the things that you want to do that work towards your personal goals. Okay? And you have to build that structure. And once you build that structure, you can figure out what you choose to do with that spare time.
Yeah,
But make sure it's focused on you, because me time is a real thing for sure.
but don't forget that just that building the structure is a major step in its own.
Yeah.
For like seriously, it is, because honestly, most people will they choose to deflect, blame, ideology, just anything. You know what I mean? Like
They'll
this
push.
happens. Oh my god, this motherfucker
This
did
was
this.
your fault.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
It's like I had nothing to do with what happened between you two. What the hell are you talking about? Like what?
yes. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. That's something that people do, and I feel like that's like one of the biggest hurdles. So once you're building that house, building that house, you're tearing that innate how should I innate ignorance to God. I'm trying. I really want to phrase this properly. You know what I mean? Innate ignorance to like your behaviors, how you're acting, why you're acting, like you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
you should know your own mannerisms, and you should know your
Basically,
own stuff.
You know what?
About
Let's
yourself.
talk about boundaries. I think that's a good idea. So, let me ask you a question. Would you say boundaries are for you, or are they for other people?
For you.
Exactly. Boundaries are not for other people, and I feel like that's like a huge misconception.
Yeah.
Out there is people think that boundaries are meant for other people. Boundaries are not meant for other people. Boundaries are meant for yourself.
Yeah.
Because no one knows you as well as you do. No one trusts you as well as you do. No one's going to love you as much as you love yourself. And yes, you have to love yourself. It's the only way you're going to be able to be happy on your own. Because at the end of the day, if you're constantly trying to find someone to find happiness in, it's going to blow up in your face. Just don't do it. Because you're going to get so caught up in all these other people's or your partner's problems that are literally not your problems. You lose yourself in that process. It really does happen.
But obviously that comes with a caveat. Obviously, depending on the relationship, you know what I mean? Because that's up into a certain point. Once you guys have fallen in love with each other, that's when that changes. Well, no, because I would say once you start to have feelings for somebody, that's when it begins to change. And once you fall in love with that person, that's when it's completely gone.
Yeah.
Because, you have to look out for yourself, and you have to build yourself and have the strongest house to build from. So that makes total sense.
You have to build pillars that you set in the sand for yourself, or you draw in the sand for yourself. Because essentially, what those boundaries serve for you is how you respond to other people when they inadvertently or intentionally cross those boundaries. Because then that gives you a good gauge on what you are able to do or how you're going to respond, and generally how you think of those people.
And I personally think
It's your gauge. Listen to it.
I personally think that when somebody's able to, when you have those pillars, when somebody's able to understand and navigate around that. You know what I mean? Like they understand you, they
Or going
accept
out of
it.
their way to know that about you,
Yeah.
so they can understand how to. Yeah.
Yeah. Once they know that,
When someone
then-
does that, they're into you. Like that's for sure. You know,
Yeah.
when someone's going out of their way to understand your boundaries, because that's just it. Like none of us just openly tell you, like, "Hey, I don't like such and such." Like it sounds easier than it actually is, because there's some boundaries that we set for ourselves that sound ridiculous, but
See-
we have our reasons,
I'm super good about that though. I'll you know
dude.
me.
But not everyone's as direct as you.
I know.
You know, I'm very direct when it comes to how I feel about people. I'm very direct.
Yeah.
And once I get the understanding of where I stand with you or where my value sits with you, I know exactly what I'm going to do from there. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm all about reciprocation. So if you go out of your way to make me feel important, I'm going to go out of my way to make you feel important. That's just generally how I'm going to carry that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily just. I mean, making them feel important is good, but understanding them is what's actually key. Because
No, I know.
I mean,
But
feeling
it goes in line with understanding what's important to them. Because boundaries and importance
yeah, but your
kind of
boundaries
go
are
hand in hand.
yeah, but your boundaries are your own. So your boundaries are already in the pillars that you're talking about. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That should already be a baseline of them coming in.
That's true.
So if they don't, you know,
But
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
if they pass those boundaries, like past that,
That's what I'm saying.
or like they have similar ideals as you,
Exactly.
or
That's what I'm saying. And
whatever.
Once you're like, hey, these are my pillars. If they're like, oh, okay, those are my pillars too, or actually that's something I can work with, that's when you can proceed. But you present those pillars and they're like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do that. Then you're like, thanks, bye. It was nice knowing you. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like having that in your pillars is good, because and having it right out there out the gate is so you don't waste your time or anybody else's. The lion and you know
Like,
it
you
just, it doesn't do anything for anybody. If you want an actual end goal, communicate, be open and honest.
That's all you can do. If you fuck up, apologize. Own up to it. Make sure you understand what you did wrong. Number one, because that's the only way you're actually genuinely going to be sorry for what you did.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just plain and fucking simple. You know what I mean?
100%.
So, and as long as you do that and everything's cool, that's how it should be. Everything should be cool.
Yeah,
But, you know.
not everybody's like that. I get that, but
I know.
But see, that's the whole thing. Is
But that's
if you're
the
looking for a
point of
relationship.
communication.
Well, yeah, but especially in a relationship though, like a communication like that in a relationship is paramount in every relationship. Period. End of story. Full stop. You know what I mean? So, like, if that's not gonna be there, fuck, bye. I don't have to. I'm not trying to earn that. That has to be a base level. That's something that people don't understand is you don't have to earn somebody's communication. If they're not communicating to you out of the gate, that is on them. That is their fault. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes along with closed mouths don't get fed.
Straight up. It's like
So
if you're,
starve
if
to
you're gonna
death.
hold things in, like there's nothing you or your partner is gonna be able to do to rectify that in any way. Like it's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
it's just-
You get one life.
you're basically going to silently kill yourself until you decide you're not into this person.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what you're going to do. Like
You have one life. Why not just always say what you think and feel? So there's never any gray areas. There's never
no
any,
guessing.
There's no guessing,
games.
miscommunications.
No games. No BS. It's like if you want me, tell me.
And
You don't want me, cool.
And you-
Train ain't stopping just because you get off at the last stop. Like I don't know what you doing. Like,
sometimes you'll hurt feelings, yes, but at the same time, you're going to hurt feelings no matter what. The situations where you hurt feelings, it was going to happen either way. By you not being upfront and honest straight out the gate and doing it later down the road, you just made it even worse. That's all it is. It's going to be wrong either way. But by not doing it up front, you're like, you know what? This is going to end badly. I think I'm gonna put some gas on it before I light it on fire. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So why do any of that for yourself or the other person? Do you want to waste all that time, that effort, that emotion, of the hours thinking? No, it's dumb.
I know.
Wanted to make sure you didn't think it was.
I'm just letting you go, man. I was like, go, queen.
Go, Beth.
but yeah, that's just key, guys. You have to have happiness with yourself first before you can even try to share that with another person, because it's not finding happiness within them, it's sharing it with them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really all it is.
And I've been known, if you ask anybody, if there's one thing I'm an over explainer to the max.
Yeah. It's because we're overthinkers. It's
Yeah.
just how it happens.
But it's
We'll try to explain things in fine detail because it's just how we think.
plus at the same
It's
time
just,
though, it's because so many people won't understand. You'll say something and then you'll be like, "This person's dumb," so now I have to talk to them like they're a child.
Yeah, you know what? I can tell you firsthand that there's people that will be so direct with you, right? And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, I hear you. And then do the polar opposite. It's like, what?
I know.
That's not what he said. What are you doing? I stopped for 5 minutes and then proceeded to do the thing that they were asked not to do.
Dude, yes, exactly.
I have seen this behavior and I'm just like, how? What? Oh my god, you are making it so much worse.
I mean, we have people
Christ.
that eat and smoke Tide Pods, so
That is fair.
uh,
I don't understand when like, people don't know how to handle directness. They're like, all right, let me dissect the words, read in between the lines, instead of hearing this direct statement that was given right to me.
dude, I know. Like that. Yes, that drives me
Like
insane.
there's a subliminal message hidden within the direct quote. Like,
Yes, because I'm a very literal person. Like people will make jokes, and I'll be like,
Don't
"How does
do
that
that.
make sense?" Because
people do not talk in code.
yeah, dude, I'm a literal and direct, and I'll say something, and that's exactly what they'll do. Like, I thought this is what you meant.
We don't communicate in code, guys, okay? We communicate in whatever language you friggin' natively speak, all right?
God, it's crazy.
We speak English, but, other people might have a different native language, and that's fine. But you get my point. Either way, communication's still the damn same. Like, no matter what.
Yeah, don't. If somebody's saying something, like listen to the words.
Listen to the words. That's probably exactly what they mean. Okay?
So
If they change their mind, that's just an emotional thing more than an English thing.
I got this. I went to this training thing for when I was doing. I think it was Expedia or whatever, and I always remember it because it was so. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. They're like, people don't realize the difference between listening to understand and listening to respond. Because it's a call center, so they're teaching you how to
Funny.
actually like
That's so true.
mind understand human beings in a call center. And I'm like,
That's genius.
I'm like,
actually.
holy shit!
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because there are people that they're listening to respond. They're listening and they're receiving enough information to have a basic understanding of what you're saying, but to have a response as quick as possible. To have that answer as quick as
Like,
possible.
people are like, "Hi, I'm with Expedia." Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much, though.
Yeah.
Like, those kind.
Yeah, we got this training. And yeah, so it's like that's listening to respond. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, he was not even fucking doing that. I mean, you know what I mean. She wasn't even doing that. Whatever. And then there's listening to understand. You listen, you 100% understand what they say, and then you respond. But obviously, they teach, because most people, whenever you're going into call centers, They don't, when you're being an agent, you feel like you don't want to have that delay. You feel like it's dead air, quiet on the phone. It's weird. But that's part of that lesson is you have to listen to understand rather than to respond to one, better understand what the customer's going to want and need, as well as, just to overall give them the best, assistance, but to make sure that we do it that way and don't do that immediate respond on gut instinct like we would if we didn't have that training, because it forces us to sit there and think about it actually for a second. Once you
because you're not a robot, so you can't just automatically respond to prompts.
Exactly, yeah. But why is it? Blah, 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 blah. Let me look at your summary here. You know what I mean? Like I can't have an immediate response. But if I would rather have that than somebody. But what happened to my? Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. That happened to you. Give me just a few moments here, and I will take a quick look. I'll place you on a brief hold. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like just the immediate responses to immediate scripted responses to everything, instead of actually trying to listen to what the person says.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I have to vent about this because this is a perfect example. So my job, I work in an alarm company. We get an alarm, dispatch, 911, fire, police, whatever. We call dispatchers all the time. So we do have a script we have to say when we call, but that's because the script identifies our company and what we're calling for. So it's like, hi, I'm Jason with blah, 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 and I'm calling for police dispatch on a commercial burglary alarm, entry exit, AVS level 1, which is just a level to say if there's people on site kind of thing, whatever. And right there, I just told you that I'm calling for police dispatch on a commercial burglary alarm, entry exit. And the dispatcher was like, call back, reference. All right, what's your company name? All right, what were we calling about? Commercial what? Was it a residential or commercial? Commercial. Was it fire or Berg? Berg. All right, can I get the address? Now they're pulling it, you know what I'm saying? But out the gate, I gave them all of that information, and that's why we have that like that, is so we can give them the most important information, except for the address, up front, so they can pull up the right case type, right, all you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff, and then go straight into the information. But they don't listen to what we actually say. They listen just...
Like, oh, yeah.
They listen sometimes for the company name, and they usually just listen for our responder, for our name, so that way they can be like, all right, Jason, what's the address? What's your company? What's your callback? What kind of alarm is it? And you know what I'm saying? And that they're literally just listening to respond, not understand. But that's because they're 911 dispatchers. They have to be on that grind of getting as many calls as possible, because 911 centers are busy.
No, they're insane. That's what they are.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah. God bless you, sir. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to mental health. Yeah, you got to have those pillars. So,
Pillars, communication, self-happiness.
But tying that back to our very first topic, don't let our first topic be a part of that. Do not let political parties, just as a general.
Don't let it control your emotions.
Yeah, don't let them
It's not the end of the world.
No.
There's going to be more elections.
If there's a specific policy that the other person, believes in that you disagree with, sure. But just to discount them and be like, one of my pillars is no Republicans, just because you're a Republican, you can't be in my life, is insane. Because
you can't set boundaries like that. It's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because for all you know, your mother, brother, cousin, friggin'
anybody in your family could be a Republican.
Like your boss.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna quit your job because your boss is a Trump supporter. Like,
yeah. So you got to make sure
it's not a realistic boundary to set.
Don't put stuff like that in your pillars, because that is when you're...
That's exactly how you end up in HR's office.
Yeah, that's how you end up in
Straight up.
HR's office,
Like-
sad, alone.
It's like you're gonna talk politics and be that passionate about it. Yeah, sorry, dude. It's not. Look, yes, does this partially dictate our lives? Absolutely, it does. But it's not the end of the world. We're gonna get everything's gonna be fine. Okay. Now, I don't know what Trump's gonna do, but that doesn't mean you should act any differently from what you're doing day to day. Okay. Like me, I'm still going. I'm fine. You know, I was like I said, it was bittersweet for me. I'm really happy, really proud of my brother Joe Dahlia winning assembly. Congratulations, brother. I don't think he'll ever watch this, but that's fine.
Who cares?
But my point is, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, and there's going to be more elections, and after the next 4 years, Trump can't run again. So that's something to look forward to. If you're really that against Trump, like again, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think there's anybody else that is. God, the only other Republican I could think of that would make people be like, "Are you like this upset?" Would be if Marjorie Taylor Greene ran for president.
No, Jesus.
But that would never happen. She has said, I mean, she doesn't have billions of dollars, and she said things just as bad as him. So she's a psycho. From no matter what, just as a human being, not as a Republican. Because I mean, my entire family's Republican. Nothing against Republicans, but that bitch is insane.
Hey,
Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you ever see this,
there's extremists on
seek
both
help.
sides.
This is a podcast about mental health. Marjorie, I'm dead serious. You need to speak to someone on both levels, therapist and a psychiatrist. You need medication. There's something not right.
Jason.
I mean, you have Jesus, but obviously it's not working. You need help. PSA from Jason Dillard.
All right, guys. Well,
Anything else to say before we hop off?
no, I was actually going to say I think that pretty much does it for today's show. Next week we'll come up with something better to talk about.
Yeah, we just had to talk about this though, obviously, because it
Obviously,
just
this
happened.
is like the highlight of the week, dude. Like,
Yeah. And everybody's been stressing, so maybe if we can help the 4 of our followers, viewers, whatever, if we can help anybody, we're all to it. So
Just keep smoking weed. I'm just-
smoke weed every day.
That'll help you forget about things for a little while.
True. Alrighty, guys, we appreciate anybody coming out to the shit show.